This film is for everybody. Everybody. No, seriously, it is. The film is for everyone. For everyone to see, to understand. I've seen first-hand experience because of my brother of what can happen to somebody who doesn't speak about their mental health. But the person can go to a really, really dark place, to a point where they feel like they might want to take their life. So it's very, very serious. So I wanted to kind of create an awareness and show people that, look, this does happen and something needs to be done.
There he is! Oh, it's so cold. I think we're lost.
Yeah, I do think we're lost.
Where's the road gone?
I reach out to people or people reach out to me. We meet up in a coffee shop or a cafe and we just sit down and have a chat and we just talk about, you know, their experiences with their mental health. I type it up and I post it on social media and there's a story.
How's they say, Rex?
Not too shabby, you know, live a life.
I want black men to see that other black men do struggle with their mental health and it's okay to speak about it. My brother's in a much better place now, so I hope that he sees this film and sees that, no, there are people that go through a similar situation, they overcome it and they do feel better.
Once you start owning what you've gone through, it becomes a lot easier for you to discuss it.
Suck it up. Men don't cry, don't talk about it. But actually it's the complete opposite. Young men are taking their lives purely because they're not expressing or telling people.
Don't feel ashamed to open up to people what you're going through.
My name is Luli Ade. I would identify myself as Black, British, Nigerian. I'm 26 and I grew up in East London. Yes. Don't. Luli, what are you doing? Stop it. So I met up with some friends of mine who were willing to speak about their mental health, and they are Emmanuel, Rex, Anton and Daniel.
You get labelled as a freak. There's so many things you get labelled as in that community. You know, people distance themselves from you because they look at you and think there's something wrong with it.
Stigma, mental health in the black community. It's frowned upon. It's something that's misunderstood, something that's kind of encouraged to kind of be swept under the carpet.
It closed me off from friends, it closed me off from family. There's a lot of stigma evolved around, you know, me having depression and mental health and anxiety. I kind of felt self-doubt and self-defeatist, and it made me much more fearful and anxious to kind of go out.
We started back, I'll say the 6th of July 2016 when I lost my mum. So I think what triggered it was also watching her take her last breaths. And personally, I wouldn't want anyone to experience that. When the people started leaving over a period of time and I started being alone in my thoughts, is when I started, should I say, feeling suicidal.
I learned that there are a lot more black people out there struggling with their mental health than what appears to be. That's what I learned. I'm doing this film because my brother was diagnosed with depression and it had a huge impact on my family. We just didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to handle it.
The thing that gets to me as well sometimes, I see there's people that's ignorant.
Yeah.
But then it reminds me of when I was ignorant. So like when my mum was going through what she was going through,
Yeah.
she was going through like mental health issues and like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, initially I was angry. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you attention seeking? Like, why are you being selfish? You know what I mean? So I was getting angry to it.
Yeah.
And then after getting angry, because I was scared like of emotionally breaking down if something does happen,
Wow.
I shut myself off.
Okay,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? So literally I didn't feel nothing.
Do you worry about your brother?
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, let's get some water. I mean, it's very terrifying having that kind of over your head thinking any minute now my brother's gonna try and kill himself. It's really, really, really hard to deal with because he wouldn't answer any of our phone calls, so we would go and check up on him in his flat. And I remember one time it was my turn to go and see if he was okay. I just couldn't bring myself to go into his flat because I was just so petrified that I was just gonna find him like dead on the floor. Is that real? You just only hope that they will get out of that dark place, that place of feeling like, you know, taking their life is just the only option. So I've been depressed in the past. I know what it feels like to go into kind of like a low place and feel like you can't speak to anybody about it. It was inspirational speaking to these guys because the stories that they were sharing with me was so personal.
My best friend passed away in a tragic car accident. He passed away with 2 other friends.
They all experienced at least one setback when they tried to speak up about their mental health. Whether it being from their friends or family, they all kind of shunned or kind of told to just keep quiet about it.
And at some point my dad came into my room and he said to me, like, what's going on, son? Like, what's happening? And I just said to him, I was like, I can't sleep at night because every time I try and sleep, I keep seeing Jess's face in my sleep. I feel like he's still here. I keep talking to him, and he pretty much said to me, like, you need to kind of get over it. He said, you're not the first person that's had someone that's died. And this was only maybe 2 or 3 weeks after it had happened. People really don't understand.
There was one guy who I spoke to who, he said he sat down with his friend and told his friend, look, I'm going through this, I'm struggling. Sometimes I feel like hurting myself, sometimes I feel like killing myself.
He didn't acknowledge nothing I said. And the reason I know that is because we've had conversation after that and he tried to act like he didn't know. But he knew because I told him, we had numerous conversations with him. And I even cried that day when I told him about it.
I hope my brother would see this film and know that he's not alone. He's the only boy in our family. I feel like he might have felt that, he didn't have anyone to turn to or anyone to kind of relate to.
I couldn't talk to my dad about it because our relationship was just non-existent. Family members, I wasn't really close with them. It was very hard. So it was only after the overdose, the first overdose I took, should I say, is I was talking to the psychiatrist and things like that. That's where I started, should I say, talking about how I felt.
Some people are at a stage where they're just more than happy to share what they've been through and more than happy to, be open and share their experiences. And I just think my brother's at that stage where, he's going through it and he just doesn't feel comfortable to open up just yet. But hopefully one day he will. And it'll be to me.
I would definitely encourage men to talk, whether it's to family members, whether it's to your spouses.
Forget pride for a second and just be proud of what you're dealing with and be proud that you're actually still fighting and you're still striving to be something and someone on this planet. That's what I would say.
All people should speak up about their mental health. Nobody should ever keep it to themselves.
You've lost us. You've made it.
I've lost.
Yes, you have. I'm not taking any responsibility for this.